And okay, in our automation framework, we have 3 layers in our automation framework. One is test layer. All the test cases should be presented in the test layer. I think this one will be, no, not this one. We work on what is that? Okay, I will explain from here. You will under test, you should have all the test layer. This is BDD automation framework, but normally what we should have, this is the test layer, you can say test case, right? And all the test cases inherited by base test, right? From the base test, what code you will have? Base test, what kind of code you will have? Please, ఎందుకబ్బా నేను చెప్పడం వల్ల మీకు దండగా టైం వేస్ట్. ఒక మాట చెప్పేసి అయిపోయింది, ఎవరు రెస్పాండ్ అయ్యాడు. హలో
Base test initialization of driver.
what you have in the base test? This is the base test. This is the test layer, and this is the pages layer, and this is the utilities layer. So what are the things you will have in the base test? Please fast. Sri Krishna, are you there? Is he joined or not? Rajan,
సార్ మనం ఏదైతే కోడ్ రిపీటెడ్ గా ఉంటుందో అది దానిలో ఉంటుంది సార్.
ఏం కోడ్ ఉంటుంది బేస్ టెస్ట్ లో?
సపోజ్ స్టార్టింగ్ మనం డ్రైవర్స్ ఓపెన్ చేయాలన్నా అది అక్కడ ఉంటుంది సార్.
డ్రైవర్ రిలేటెడ్ కోడ్, రైట్?
అవును సార్.
You require a driver to work on any kind of web browser. So we have the before method. Inside a before method, you will write the code how to create an instance for the Chrome driver. Okay, what is web driver? What is web driver? Web driver equals to new of Chrome driver. From this statement, what is web driver? Boss, you are going to face the interviews. If you don't speak, what is the use? What is web driver? Please.
Interface.
నువ్వు ఆగు, నువ్వు అయిపోయిన వాడివి, నువ్వు మాట్లాడబాక. వీళ్ళని మాట్లాడండి బాబా అని. అదర్స్ పవన్ ఉంటే పవన్ కూడా చెప్పొచ్చు. వాట్ ఈస్ వెబ్ డ్రైవర్ యార్? ఎవరికి తెలీదా?
Sir, web driver is an interface that can be create user to execute the test cases, sir.
Very good. Execute the test cases. Web driver is a interface, okay? And what is the Chrome driver? What is the Chrome driver?
Chrome driver is the intermediate between Chrome browser and Selenium.
What is the Chrome driver? You are saying right always. When you are right, you are opening that Chrome driver. Whenever you want to open the browser, what statement you will do? First of all, Rajan, what statement you should do? If I ask to launch a Chrome browser, how do you launch the Chrome browser? What is the code you will write?
So web driver has got New York Chrome driver and assets.
Web driver
web pages, sir. Navigate to capable to navigate to web pages.
Driver equals to new of Chrome driver. So WebDriver is an interface. What do you have in the interface? Anyone can explain? What is the interface? What is the interface?
Interface consists of unimplemented methods.
It will consist of unimplemented method. So something is common across the applications, right? See, now, are you going to work differently in Chrome browser, or are you going to work differently in Edge browser? Are you performing any different task in the Chrome? No, right? We are going to perform the same thing, same actions we are going to do in the Firefox browser, in the Chrome browser, in IE browser, in any browser. But IE will work differently because IE code is different. Firefox will work differently, but actions will be same, right? So whatever the things are same are common across multiple classes. So those classes we will divide into one interface. We will write all those functions into one interface, right? So that interface is going to be inherited by all the common classes, right? WebDriver is one class which is inherited by, Chrome driver is a class which is inherited by WebDriver, right? WebDriver is one interface, right? It will have all the functions. What are the functions you need to work with your browser? Okay, that is one interface. Okay, get operation, get function, find element to find elements. But you have one more interface. What is that? iSearch context. iSearch context is one more interface, right? iSearch context is one more interface. iSearch context is one more interface, right? So what we'll do with iSearch context? What are the functions you used to see in iSearch context? Anyone can tell? Anyone? What are the functions? Without looking into books, tell me by your experience.
Take screenshot, sir.
Huh?
Take screenshot.
No. iSearch context is one interface. From this interface, you will have only two functions. That without those functions, you cannot write single. You cannot identify any one element. Those two functions will come from iSearch context. That is the interface, just like iWebDriver. Find element and find elements. These two are coming from which interface? iSearch context, right? So these are the examples. Tell me something from your automation framework interface example చెప్పమంటే what you should tell? WebDriver, search context, and what is another one? JavaScript executor. All these are the interfaces. By using these interfaces, classes would be implemented. Interface, just a function declaration would be there. But inside the implementation, somebody has to provide. Who has? The classes. Okay. So that is one of the example for interfaces from your framework, you can say. Okay. All classes, Chrome driver, all those are the classes. You need to check yourself. How do you check? In which class we did framework here? Oh, here I think so. See, go to your Chrome driver class. So here, go to declaration, and you can observe Chrome driver class extends Chromium driver, right? Go to this Chromium driver, which extends remote web driver and implements these many interfaces. Go to remote web driver. See, these are the main thing. JavaScript execute web driver is one. These are the list of interfaces. Your right. So Chrome driver extends remote web driver. Remote web driver implements means these are the interfaces. Web driver is the interface. JavaScript executor is the interface. Has capabilities is interface. Mainly take screenshot is one of the interface. And where is our interface? We discussed take screenshot, not what is it? Search context. Where is the search context? Perform and search context somewhere. But search context, from that you will have find elements that code. Okay. Selenium automation. Okay, so that's what you need to understand. There are list of interviews. They will ask you what are the different kinds of interfaces you have. Give me some interfaces from your framework. They will say, or from Selenium. Then you need to tell from Selenium whenever you saw something from Selenium. WebDriver, search context, take screenshot, JavaScript executor, all these are the major interfaces. All other Chrome driver, all are classes. Okay. So now coming to your framework part. Right now, we have three layers. Right. One is the base test. What code you will have in the base test? Right. In the base test, you will have the driver. See, this is the driver. Right. This is the driver. Is one variable. And this browser factory is one of the utility, right? This is called utility, right? A utility, what is the utility? Utility is nothing but very simple plain class. In that class, you will have reusable function. That's called utility, right? So we have three layers. See, this is test layer, right? And this is pages layer, and this is core engine, and here you need the base test. Right, in the base test, what you will have? You will have one driver. That driver you are passing to all the test cases, right? So this is the test case. This is one test case. This is one test case. This is one test case. This is one. So all test cases require the driver, right? So how do you get this driver here? How do you get this driver, all these classes?
The
All the
base
classes.
process will inherit the base text.
So example for inheritance, you need to tell from OOPS concept, right? What is the example for inheritance? I have a driver which I declared in my base test. That driver is required to work with the Chrome browser, right? So you created the driver here and simply pass that driver to all the test layer, all the test cases file. Test case is one class file, right? Test dot test are one class file, right? In that class file, what you will have? You can have n number of test cases. All the test cases require the driver. How do you got the driver? Through inheritance. See, now I have base test. Go to login test, right? If you observe, I inherited the base test or base test one, anything. So while inheriting, I got this driver here. Okay, that's how you need to do. Right? So we got the driver. Last time we did this program. So this is one, right? So any code, next point, this is fundamental, basic fundamental you need to understand. In the pages layer, you should not write, see here, this kind of code you should not write in the page test cases. In the test case level, see, one of the best practice and one fundamental thing what you need to understand is you should not see any kind of locators or web elements or functions related to any page, any Selenium activities, right? You should not have these things in the test case. Got it, my point? What you should not have, Sri Krishna? In the test case, what you should not have? This is the fundamental. People are missing the fundamentals while writing the test case. If I ask anyone to write the test case, I should not see single statement like a find element or XPaths. All those things I should not see here in the test case level layer. Okay, na? Got it? అర్థమైందా లేదా? ఎంతమందికి అర్థమైందా? ఎంతమందికి అర్థం కాలేదు? ఏమైనా డౌట్సా? What I said, I should not see single statement like driver dot find element or XPaths or clicks. Anything I should not see in the test case. In the test case, did you agree with me? First of all, ఆ స్టేట్మెంట్ మీకు అర్థమైందా? డిడ్ యూ అండర్స్టాండ్? తొందరగా చెప్పండి అబ్బా, టైం తినొద్దు. అర్థమైతే అర్థమైందని చెప్పండి, లేకపోతే లేదు. హలో, ఆర్ ఏబుల్ టు హియర్ మీ?
సార్ ఒక్కసారి రిపీట్ చేస్తారు
Yes, sir.
కన్ఫ్యూషన్.
I should not see single statement, okay, like this statement. Driver dot find element or by dot XPath, all XPaths or any web elements, I should not see in my test layer, in the test case here. This attribute is right at the rate test. What is this? This becomes a test case. Inside my test case, that is the rule, basic rule you need to follow while writing any kind of test case. Up to now, you don't have the framework. That's why you are writing everything here, right? As part of the test case, you are writing everything. Okay, find element. Okay, on that element, perform the action. Find element and that element perform the action. Everything you are doing in the test case layer here in the test case, right? But what is the rule? If you violate this rule, anybody can tell you are not experienced guy. You don't have any experience to write the test cases. Easily they can identify you. So what you need to do? Then how I can work with automation code? How I can work with my page and how I can interact with the page without writing any code related to this? What is the fundamental? How we can achieve this? Sri Krishna. ఇక్కడ ఏం రాయకుండా నేను ఎట్లా అచీవ్ చేయగలుగుతాను? How I can interact with the locators? How I can find the elements? This code where should I have? Simply what you need to do, Sri Krishna, just move this code to where? In the page class. You can create a register page because it is related to registration, right? So the registration page, you can move here. See here. First, I am simply what I am doing. What are the code I have written in the registration? Okay. Everything I moved here, right? Anna, any errors? Right? Whatever the code I have, what is my first basic rule while writing the test cases? What is the basic rule I said just now? Please tell me, don't take time. We have 1 hour only.
టెస్ట్ కేసులో ఏది రాయకూడదు
టెస్ట్ కేసులో ఏది అంటే అసలు ఏది రాయకుండా ఉంటావు మరి ఇంకా టెస్ట్ కేసులో
హార్డ్ కోడింగ్ ఉండకుండా
హార్డ్ కోడ్ కాదు, నాట్ హార్డ్ కోడ్, ఎనీ వెబ్ ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఆర్ ఎనీ లొకేటర్స్ రిలేటెడ్ కోడ్ యూ షుడ్ నాట్ హ్యావ్ హియర్. ఓకేనా?
ఓకే
రైట్. ఎనీ వెబ్ ఎలిమెంట్ ఆర్ ఎనీ లొకేటర్స్ డ్రైవర్ డాట్ ఫైండ్ ఎలిమెంట్ కోడ్ ఇక్కడ ఉండకూడదు. డ్రైవర్ కి సంబంధించిన ఎటువంటి కోడ్ ఇక్కడ ఉండకూడదు. అది అబ్బా సింపుల్. Where should you have? You should have all the things because you are working on a page, right? You are working on web page. So you are working on this particular no commerce. Is this web page or not?
Yes, sir.
Whatever you are seeing, it is a web page. So what you need to do, you should write everything in the page class. Every page is one page class. You should convert every page is a page class, right? So that's why I created one of my page class, right? But this page class requires a driver. This page class requires the driver. How do I got the driver? First of all, I got the driver from login with the test. Register page. I need to create object equals to new of you should be very cooperative today because we have a lot of topics to discuss and this is the final class for framework. Okay, if you didn't understand, you should ask me the question or you tell your understanding. You should tell your understanding. Okay, don't sit quiet. Now this how. So I created the object for a registration page and what are the driver I got from base test? It came to here. From here I am passing to register page through the constructor, right? Now I would like to register a user. I would like to register a user. Before registering, First of all, what you need to do, you need to identify what are the web elements I need to work with. So those things, this is the page, guys. So page related activities you should have in the page class only. You should not have in the test case level. Okay, clear? Right. So now, what is this element? This is one element, first name, ID, and this is last name, might be the ID would be last name, like this. So first of all, what is the strategy? You should take this one. Remember how I am dividing. What is this? Locators. What is the type for the locator? By is the type of the locator. Okay, so my account. First of all, I need to create click on the locator, right? So this is the my account locator. So what I need to pass here? Simply this one, right? I got the web element, this one. Not able. Try one direct. Let's open this. Okay. This కదా మనం పెట్టింది. This is by locator. Same ఉంది. Both are same. Something is missing. What is it? What is the difference here and here? I don't. I didn't understand. Both are same actually.
Maybe my account and name are ఉందేమో సార్ previous మాట్లాడాలి.
లేదు ఇది by is the type and this is a variable name. Okay, let's see this time. Okay. So first locators you should declare. If you declare direct web elements, right, you will get the error. So web elements you should find whenever the page is visible, right? But locators you can declare anytime. So that's why I declared locators first. Those locators I am using. Okay. So are we following the fundamentals or not? Fundamentals are very important, right? Right? Register locator. You have to write the test cases. Otherwise, there is no use understanding the framework. ఎటువంటి ఉపయోగం లేదు. If you are not able to write the test cases by using the framework, then after getting the job, you have to bear me. That's it. Waste of your time. So understand the basics first. సో అర్థమైంది కదా. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఫస్ట్ టూ ఎలిమెంట్స్ మాత్రమే రాశాను నేను. ఓకే, వాట్ ఈస్ ద అడ్వాంటేజ్ బై హ్యావింగ్ దిస్ అప్రోచ్? Page object pattern and especially declaring the locators at the top. What is the advantage? Anybody can answer. Why I declare the locators at the top? Whenever it is required, directly I can declare here, right? Why I declared all the locators at the top?
Reduce the duplication code, sir.
Reduce the duplication code. అంటే ఏంటబ్బా పవన్?
ఒకసారి డిక్లేర్ చేసుకొని దాన్ని మళ్ళీ రీయూజ్ చేసుకుంటాం.
వెరీ గుడ్. సో ఇక్కడ నేను డిక్లేర్ చేశా. సో ఇదే ఇక రిజిస్టర్ విత్ register some different password. If I have some function register 1, right? In the same function, I have same kind of functionality I want to do, right? What should I do? I need to write the duplicate. Once again, here I need to declare my account login, my account locator, all those things I need to write, right? How many times you are using the web elements? Those many times you need to declare the locators, right? So instead of repeating same thing, you simply declare all the variables, all the locators at one time. And with this, right, easy of maintenance you can achieve. How? For example, one locator, my account today, it changed to something, my account to the XPath or text changed to my account to. Instead of changing in 10 places or 20 places, just change in one place. That is the reusability, right? And easy of maintenance. Two things you can achieve, right? With the help of proper page object model pattern. So now if I want to test this test case, what should I do? Simply I should call that function. That's it, right? By looking, right, it is very simple, right? It is very simple. You created the object, there is a function to register, you are calling that function. Inside that function, you will have all the right. See, I did first fundamental, I should not see any driver related code here. Are you seeing any driver related? Only accept this driver, passing the driver to that page class. Apart from that, you should not see anything related to driver. Simple, basic, fundamental. You should not see anything related to driver. Right? Like this. So this is the page class. Okay, two layers we discussed. Test layer and pages layer. Every page, how many page classes you should have? People will ask this kind of questions also. How many page classes you should have in your page class, in your pages layer? Answer please. Okay, you want.
దానికి రాసుకుంటాం సార్, లాగిన్ రిజిస్టర్ ఎన్ని క్లాసులు ఉంటాయి అన్ని రాసుకుంటాం.
Yes, that is right. How many pages you have, those many classes you can create, right? Page class, it will give the clear separation between one class to another class, right? One page elements to another page elements, you will get clear separation. And if you have something common across all the pages, what you should do? You should create one base page class. In that, what are the common things are there? Common elements, all the common elements, what are the common functions which is going to be useful in all the classes? All those things you should declare in the base page class. Okay, na? Clear? So now we discussed two layers, right? Page layer and test layer and page layer. Up to this, you are okay, right? And third layer, utilities layer. What is that utility layer? You can say it is a core engine. It is heart of your framework. So we created all the reusable functions inside utilities layer. For example, what is one of the reusable function? In the base test, if you observe, now if I want to work with the Chrome driver, you are just passing. If I want to Firefox, I am passing the Firefox. Automatically, what driver you are getting? What driver you are getting? If I am passing the Firefox, second go to get browser. Firefox related driver you will get, right? Since you are passing Chrome, you are going to get the Chrome driver. If you are passing the browser Edge, you are going to get the Edge driver. If you are pass the Chrome Firefox, you will get the Firefox driver, right? So, but what is this? This is one of the utility. It is one as part of my framework. I created all the reusable classes. So one of the class is the browser factory. What is the purpose of the browser factory, Pawan? నువ్వు అక్కడే మాట్లాడుతున్నావు నువ్వే చెప్పు ఎవరికి రాదు ఇక్కడ all other people are silently watching.
బ్రౌజర్ ఫ్యాక్టరీ స్పెసిఫిక్ బ్రౌజర్ ని కాల్ చేసుకోవడం.
మనకు కావాల్సిన బ్రౌజర్ కాల్ చేసుకోవడానికి.
Yes, on the fly based on the configuration. In the configuration, if you set browser equals to Chrome, you will get the browser instance here. So from the base test, you are calling the utility, browser factory utility, and getting the driver, and that driver you are passing to all the test cases. Clear? This is one of the utility. So as part of your framework, you have the utility section. One of the utility is browser factory. Clear? So now we will declare one more utility as part of our framework. What is that utility name? Selenium utility. Okay, Selenium utility. But so all the times, if you work directly, if you click on the element, is it going to find the element? Is it going to perform the click? What is the default wait period of Selenium? Who will answer? Fast. What is the default wait time?
Half of seconds, sir.
Half of second.
Half of the second, right? So Selenium will look for the element in half of the second. If the page loading is taking more time, might be some application is your application is very heavy application, to load that page, it may take 1 minute or 30 seconds also. But your Selenium looks for only half of the second. So what if the element is not available? Then how you are going to work? How you are going to enter the text into that element, which is taking long time? So you need to apply proper waiting mechanism before entering a text, right? So for example, public void enter text. So on which you are going to enter text? First of all, you need to pass the locator. Okay, and what is the parameter? Okay, you got the element. In that element, what do you want? In that element, what do you want? You need to enter some text, right? So you got the element by passing the locator. You can find the element, right? Okay, I'll do first. One by one, I'll do, right? So how I am making how I am preparing utility, just you need to observe. Okay. Well, you can say, since it is utility, I can create a static method, right? By is the locator, you need to import that. Okay, guys, interviews, they will ask you, did you implemented any utilities? Did you involved in your framework creation? Yes, I involved the framework creation like this. Otherwise, sometimes, okay, I didn't involve the framework creation. My framework is already in place. I joined in between. Whenever I have something, some functionality I need to add, I will add. Example, this is one of the example. I have a Selenium utility. I would like to write a function. I would like to use, I'm entering some text a number of times. So there is no function is there in my, no function is presented in my framework. So I am I'm creating one of the utility. Right? This is one example you can say. So how do you find the element? First of all, you need the driver, right? So do you have the driver here? Do you have the driver here? No,
No.
right? So where is the driver now?
We have to call from
So driver, you require the as a parameter, right? Okay, I'll tell you. So you need the driver. Okay, you got the driver, but here just the driver is not initialized. Okay, guys, initialize the driver you need, but it is not initialized here. So somehow while calling, you need to pass the actual driver. You created the driver in base test, right? That driver you need to pass here. Okay. Now driver dot find element. First of all, what you need to do? Find element by locator. Right. So is that okay? What is the difference here? There also directly you can write, right? In the code itself, you can write driver dot find element and dot enter text, send keys. Right? This statement you can write there also. Why we are doing here? We need to first of all, before finding the element, what we need to do? WebDriver wait, implicit wait we need to do. Boss, I didn't remember any code. You should tell me. Wait equals to nobody. You don't know how to. What is the explicit wait? You know or don't know? పవన్ నువ్వు ఒక్కడే చెప్పబా వీళ్ళెవ్వరు పనికిరారు అని చెప్పి how
Sir.
do you do? Tell me the code to explicit wait.
Driver weight is equal to driver weight is equal to new web driver, sir.
New web driver web driver wait
Web driver weight.
సరిగ్గా చెప్పు తర్వాత ఎంత డ్యూరేషన్
Parameters.
What is the duration? You need to tell the duration also.
Duration of seconds.
Java, do you forget or what? Java, are you there?
Yes, sir.
You totally gone, huh? Waits. Okay, WebDriver wait, right? So wait dot. We need to tell before writing. You need to check few conditions. First of all, before writing, what are the conditions you will check? If you want to enter an element, right? What are the conditions you will check? First element కనిపిస్తుందా లేదా? You need to write wait for element. Wait that until. You have to wait until, right? Expected conditions. What are these? Are the different conditions you need to check. As a first element visible unda leda, visible unte then you can enter the text, right? Visibility of visibility of locator or visibility of element.
element.
Visibility of locator element locator, because we are passing the locator here. right? How much time it is going to wait? 10 seconds.
Hmm.
Once this is there, then you can find the element. How? Web element. Okay. What is this web element? Now to import. Now you got the element. See, you applied the weight, explicit weight. So here and visibility, you check the allocator is visible or not. And okay, it is visible and enabled. If it is disabled, right, you cannot enter, right? So you have to check one more condition. What is that? Element to be clickable. You can say element to be clickable. So it is a clickable and visible. Then you can, then you find the element dot send keys. So here in this approach, there is no chance to get the error, right? Okay. This is the WebDriver first. So then you passing the locator and what text you need to enter. The text should be string. So whatever the text you want to enter, so this how you need to. So can I say this is a utility or not? So always reusable, right? So simply what should I do? I'm going to my page, login page, right? I'm going to login page. Instead of all these things, what should I do? Selenium. What is the name? So since it is a static method, I can call Selenium util dot enter text. So I want to enter password, for example. Password locator, just I need the password locator. And I am trying to enter. See here, I am removing these two letters. My code is simple right now. Selenium util enter text, password, and what are the text you want to enter. So you have taken care. You have taken care the explicit weight also, right? So there is no chance to get the sync issues, right? Whether the element is there or not. Okay. Now you did this one. Now I will write one more function. Here, see, can I have the same duplicate function name same here? In a single class, can I have the same function name or not? What is method override? What is method override? Please tell me.
Same function name with different parameters.
Hey, method override గురించి అడుగుతున్నా.
Only the implementation will be different, sir.
Method name same,
Parameter also same.
parameters also same, right?
But the
Method name
class
same,
will be
enter
different,
text.
sir.
Very good. That point you should tell. So, but in the same class, you should not have method name same, parameters also same in the same class, right? So simply I will make some difference. The duration, right? It is hard coded now, right? So int. If I use this here, and now observe, what is this concept? What is this concept? Method overload. This is the example you need to tell in interviews. They will ask you, what is polymorphism? Explain me polymorphism from your automation framework. Inheritance already we discussed at the base test. You have the driver, inherited the driver in all the test classes. Here, this is the example for method overload. Polymorphism. How you achieve the polymorphism? I have in my utility, Selenium utility, I have a function enter text. Is a function, right? So that function with the 3 parameters I have. Another function, the same function name, but here 3 parameters are there. Here I have 4 parameters. What is the difference here and here? The duration is hard coded. So if I use this function, you are going to wait only 10 seconds. For example, if that element which takes 20 seconds, what will happen? To display that element, to visible that element, or to render that element, it takes 20 seconds. What will happen? Your test case will fail, right? So I have given the provision to wait up to 20 seconds also. There is the login page. See, in the login page, what I did, I waited the default one I used. Here it will take 20 seconds, 10 seconds. If I want to extend, no, I don't want to wait. It may take more time, 20 seconds or 30 seconds, anytime it may take. ఇది ఈజీగా ఉందా, ఇది ఈజీగా ఉందా ఇప్పుడు మీకు? And here you have the provision, whatever the time you want to give. Here 20, yes, you can give. Here that option is not there. By default it will wait for 10 seconds, but here you can give the duration whatever the time you want. Okay, so this is the example for method overload, right? Clear? So this is the part of your utility. So we covered abstraction, we covered encapsulation, we covered inheritance, we covered polymorphism. Yes or no? If you observe this base class, you covered each and everything. How you can tell me? Encapsulation, example from here, how you can tell your login page is example for encapsulation.
Private.
All the locators you can say part of encapsulation because it is secured, right? Any other class doesn't know, or any other class doesn't collision with these elements, right? So this is every page class is example for encapsulation, and every page class functions are examples for abstraction. How do we say? Simple. You go to login test. See here, the login test knows there is a function, that's it. It doesn't care about how that function is implemented. It hides the internal details of a function. That is called abstraction, right? That is called abstraction. What is encapsulation? Encapsulation in the sense providing the security to a data. Encapsule is nothing but providing the first of all the functions and data members are capsulated into one class, right? Binded into one class. Data and member functions binded into one class and provided the security from the outside class, that is called encapsulation. Providing the security from outside class. Others cannot access that members. How? If you provide the access modifier, private access modifier, then other classes cannot have access to that private. So that is called the provide security we provided. Encapsulation talks about security. Abstraction talks about the hiding the internal details. Hiding and security both are different things. Okay. And what is the polymorphism? Polymorphism, we have two types of polymorphism. One is compile time polymorphism or static polymorphism. The example is nothing but this one. Method name same. See here, method name same from your framework. We are telling method name same. Parameters also different. Here 3 parameters. You have 4 parameters. Something you need to tell this like this. With a real-time scenario. For example, I have enter text function as part of my utility, which takes 3 parameters, locator and the text. Here, I have one more enter text function, locator, text and seconds. This is the example for method overload. Okay. What is the example for method override? Okay, method override. So you can create one base space. Okay, there is one function you should have. What is the function? Get title. Okay, you should create one base space. See, this is the utility, right? I third. What is the third layer? Utility layer. I have Selenium utility class and I have browser factory. How I am using browser factory, you know. How I am using Selenium utility, you know. Like this, you need to extend your framework. I just provided some template, one basic and very easy approach. So you can extend your OOPS concept and you can extend your framework. Okay, na? Very simple, plain things I told, right? So now we'll see how example for method override. You can create one base space. Base space also requires a driver. Okay. So I have a function public void get title is a function. Driver dot now driver dot get title. Okay. Okay, this is the title I have. So now I'm just declaring that abstract method. So you should have, right? So you have a base class and which is abstract class, right? You are going to override extends base class. See here, it is asking you to write unimplemented function. So here, everybody will implement their own logic. Yeah, okay. So this is called method override. Example. I have a base page. So everybody should implement this method. I'm enforcing, right? So that's how you need to provide the implementation. So that is the example for method override. Okay. Now, so we covered, right? So we covered the utilities. So login page will communicate with the login page test case. This with login page. This is registration page. This is some other page. How many pages are there? Those many page class you can have. There is no limit, you can say. Okay. So these things, right? You may require one Selenium utility. Selenium util browser factory. All are part of your core engine. JSON reader. Clear guys, మీరు వింటే కాదు. You have to practice. You have to create your own framework. Excel reader. And you can have extend report utility. Like this, if you want to read the data from databases, SQL reader. Okay. Like this, you need to tell. Okay. అర్థమవుతుందా ఏమన్నా? These utilities you can use all anywhere. See this driver you are using here, right? The Selenium utility functions, all the classes you can use, right? That's how the relation. This is your framework, and where you are going to execute? You are going to execute all the test cases in Azure pipelines. How do you execute the Azure pipelines? You have in your project, you have pipeline section would be there. From the pipelines, you can observe your own pipeline for your project to run the test cases. There is one pipeline is created. Pipeline job would be created. That job you need to execute by right click. After right clicking on that particular job, right, or pipeline, you will get one edit option should be there. In that edit options, okay, what test case name you want to provide, you can provide the test case name. Or if you want to, there is one test filter parameter would be there. Okay, in the test filter parameter, you need to pass this regression. If you want to execute the smoke test, cat equals to smoke. If you want to execute your regression test, cat equals to regression. Or if you want to run any specific test case, you should use method equals to test case name, right? By that, by selecting that option, and you need to select in which environment you want to execute the test cases, QA environment or dev environment, or whatever the environment you want to select. That environment you need to select, and source code, from which branch you are trying to pull the code. Today you have written the test cases and you are pushing that code to one of the dev branch or one of the branch. So you want to execute whatever the code in that branch you want to execute. That code you want to execute. So you need to tell the source code. What is the source code? Right? Which branch you are taking that source code. Okay, that branch name you need to mention, and then what environment, in which environment you are executing, in the QA environment, or you are going to use a dev environment. What is the environment you need to tell from the pipeline configuration itself, and what kind of test cases are you going to execute? Any specific test case? Today I fixed one test case, I want to execute only that test case in the pipeline. So you can mention test filter area. There is one variable, test filter variable. In that, cat equals to, sorry, not cat, method equals to that method name. Like that you need to mention. Okay, so this how you need to tell. So while telling, the people will ask this question, especially where you are going to execute the test cases in Azure pipeline. How do you run your test cases in from Azure pipeline? Under my project, I'll have a number of pipelines would be there, and from that I'll right click on what are the pipeline I want to execute that pipeline, and I'll do some configuration. Before running, you need to do some configuration. So what are those configuration? From which branch you are taking the code, which code you want to execute. That code would be in the repos, right? GitHub, you are using the GitHub, right? In the GitHub, you will see a number of branches, right? From that, any one branch you can select, and that code only you will get, right? For example, you have a dev branch. So you took the dev branch code and you are executing the test case. So first of all, branch name you need to mention. And then after mentioning the branch name, right? What environment? The same code you can execute in different kinds of environment. QA environment. Maximum times you should select QA environment or dev environment, any environment. Okay, you said which environment you need to execute, you got it, right? But what test cases you are going to select? Only one particular, right now I fixed one test case, I want to test that test case is working or not. So how do you do that? There is a test filter, one variable we have as part of our pipeline, test filter variable, filter equals to something. Test method name equals to that method name, or cat equals to something like that you need to select. Okay, guys, that's how Azure pipeline execution would be. Now, finally, I am concluding framework about the framework. Okay, I have a framework. It is a hybrid automation framework. Okay, in my framework, I have all the test cases would be there in the test layer. and I have page object in our framework. We followed one of the design pattern, page object model pattern. Page object model pattern is nothing but whatever the pages you are seeing, for each page we are going to have one page class. We are going to have one page class. In that page class, what are the content you are going to have? You need to tell clearly. What content I will have in the page class is all the locators are web elements and functions specific to that page class page only. I should not have the locators or functions of other page class. Okay. So it is a clear separation between one page to another page, and it is a clear separation between pages to test layer. So first thing, clear separation between pages to test layer or one page to another page. And second thing, what is the advantage? Reusability and easy of maintenance. How do you achieve the reusability and easy of maintenance? You declared all the web locators at the top, right? Those locators you can use in any function within the page. So that is the reusability. And how you can ensure your framework is easy of maintenance. For example, from pages side, right? Some XPath is changed. There is no, if I whatever the page object pattern I follow with that page object pattern, there is no need to change in other test cases or other functions. All the changes should be taken place at the locator level. All the locators I declared only one time, right? So if some XPath is changed, just change that locator. That's it. One time, just change the locator. Automatically, it impacts all the functions. So that's how easy of maintenance. That is the advantages of page object pattern. So third layer, utilities layer. You need to tell what is the third layer, utilities layer. What are the contents you will have in the utility layer? In the utility layer is nothing but one of my core engine. It is heart of my automation framework. Without that, it would be very difficult to design the framework. All the reusable components I will have in my utilities layer. For example, one of the utility browser factory. Browser factory is responsible to create the instance on the fly. Based on the configuration, it will give the instance of that particular web driver, that particular Chrome driver, or Firefox driver, or Edge driver, or IE driver, any driver. Just send the configuration details. Okay, Chrome, it will give the Chrome driver. So that is the responsibility of browser factory. Very simple. Only one functionality would be there in the browser factory, giving that browser. And Selenium utility is one of the utility where I have different kinds of functions with with appropriate weighting mechanism. All the functions we declared with appropriate weighting mechanism. Different kinds of functions are there to work with the Selenium, right? Especially while working with the Selenium, you may get sync issues, right? To address those sync issues and to work with the different kinds of controls, I have Selenium utility. That is the use of Selenium utility. JSON reader, especially my test data will come from the JSON files. So to read the test data, we have the JSON reader utility is one of the utility class. It just have the code how to read the data from JSON files and give that object whoever required. Like that Excel reader to read the Excel data. I have the utility Apache POI based utility and extend report utility to handle that reports, extend reports, right? So I created one of the utility how to handle that utility. Okay, SQL reader like this. This is my automation framework. Okay, this automation framework we are going to execute in different kinds of browsers, IE browser, Firefox browser, any browser we can execute. And my framework will support cross browser testing as well. One of the key feature of my framework is cross browser testing. It will support Parallel testing it will support, right? And retry analyzer, rollback also it will support. And if the test cases fail, I can execute only failed test cases. That is one of the feature of my automation framework, right? So, and my framework will support offline execution and online execution, on-demand executions. Also, it will support offline execution in the sense you can execute the test cases from your local environment. Online execution in the sense you can execute the test cases in cloud, like browser stack environment or Azure DevOps. Also, you can execute your test cases like that. And we can start the execution by using the CI/CD pipelines. With the help of CI/CD pipelines, we are using Azure DevOps pipeline to execute the executions. To start the executions, we are using Azure DevOps pipelines. Okay, this is my framework, guys. This is how you need to explain about your framework. Last few minutes things you need to explain. Okay, and next question, when you are saying, right, how do you start your executions? Then you should say, I am starting the execution through Azure pipeline. How do you execute your test case from Azure pipeline? That question they will ask. First of all, did you create? He will ask, did you created the Azure pipeline? You can say yes if you are confident, yes. Otherwise, you can say simply, yeah, I know how to create the Azure pipeline, but the pipelines already created by our DevOps team. We have separated DevOps team. They used to create the pipelines, and we used to execute. I know how to execute the pipeline. Simple, very simple. In the Azure DevOps portal, under your project, you will see, you can observe pipelines is one of the component would be there. Once you click on the pipelines section, you will get all the list of the pipelines. What are the pipelines you have? You need to select what is the right pipeline and do the configuration. What are the configuration? 3 things you need to check in the configuration. 3 things. What are those 3 things? First, from where you are taking the source code, right? GitHub. In the GitHub, you can observe a number of branches. From which branch you are taking the code? Okay, that is the first configuration. Dev branch or master branch, you can say anything. Okay, you know what code you need to take to execute the test cases. You got the code, right? After getting the code, in which environment you are going to execute that code? The test cases, you got the list of test cases. What are the latest test cases? In which environment you are going to execute? QA environment or dev environment or UAT environment or production? What is the environment you are going to? Second configuration is environment. So you can say QA environment you are going to execute the test cases. Okay, I got the environment. In which environment I need to execute? But what are the test cases you want to execute? Is it only one test case, or you want to execute one group of test cases, like smoke test case or regression test case? What group you want to execute? You can say, I would like to execute one particular test case. I just fixed one test case. I want to execute that one only. So there is test filter is one variable would be there. In the test filter variable, you need to say method equals to the test case name. If you want to execute the smoke test cases, in the test filter variable, say cat equals to that cat equals to the test case name, group name, smoke. Okay, like that. That's how you need to answer for agile related question as well. Okay, guys. So today's framework you need to go through number of times. Then only